What if I told you the reason you never feel rich has almost nothing to do with how much money you earn? Millions of people get pay rises every year, yet a few months later, they feel just as broke. And the shocking part? It's not inflation, it's not your job, it's your brain. Today, you'll discover the invisible psychological trap that's quietly stealing your sense of wealth, even if your income keeps growing.
Have you ever noticed something strange? You finally get the pay rise you've been chasing for years. You check your bank account, smile for a moment, and think, this is it. Life's about to get easier. But somehow, a few months later, you're just as stressed about money as you were before. Did prices really rise that much? Did life suddenly become more expensive? So where did all that extra money go? Or is something else quietly happening inside your own mind? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain has a hidden setting. It constantly changes what feels normal. And once you understand how it works, you'll realize why millions of people earning twice as much as they did 5 years ago still feel like they're barely keeping their heads above water. This isn't just about money. It's about how your brain quietly moves the finish line every single time you get closer. And once you see it, you'll never look at your next pay rise the same way again. Imagine two people. Emma earns $55,000 a year. Daniel earns $180,000. Who feels richer? Most people immediately say Daniel, but psychologists have discovered something fascinating. The answer isn't nearly as obvious as you'd expect. Emma worries about paying rent. Daniel worries about private school fees, investment properties, luxury holidays, mortgage repayments, and whether he's saving enough for retirement. Different numbers, same anxiety. Money problems didn't disappear. They simply changed clothes. That sounds ridiculous at first. Surely more money should mean less stress, shouldn't it? Our brains certainly believe it. We spend years imagining that magical salary, the one where everything finally falls into place. Maybe it's $100,000. Maybe it's $150,000. Maybe it's $500,000. Whatever number you picture, your brain whispers the same promise. When I get there, then I'll feel secure. But here's the twist. That feeling almost never arrives because your brain has already started chasing the next number. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It's one of the most powerful forces shaping your happiness. But you don't need to remember the scientific name. Just remember what it does. It makes extraordinary things become ordinary. Think about your first smartphone. You probably showed everyone. Remember how exciting it felt? You explored every feature. You couldn't stop looking at it. Now, it's just your phone. You barely notice it. The same thing happens with houses, cars, relationships, success, and yes, money. The first pay rise feels incredible. The second feels nice. The fifth barely registers. Your income keeps climbing. Your emotional baseline quietly resets. Your brain doesn't celebrate what you've gained. It adjusts to it almost immediately. This was incredibly useful thousands of years ago. Imagine our ancestors. If they found a valley full of fruit, they couldn't spend months celebrating. They needed to keep looking for more food, more shelter, more safety. The humans who stayed satisfied for too long often didn't survive. So evolution built a brain that never stays satisfied, always searching, always scanning, always asking, what's next? The problem is, your brain still runs the same ancient software, except now, instead of searching for berries, it's searching for bigger salaries, better suburbs, newer cars, larger houses, more followers, more status. The hunt never ends. And here's where things become even stranger, because your brain isn't actually comparing you to your past. It's comparing you to everyone around you. Imagine earning $120,000. Sounds fantastic. Now imagine every neighbor on your street earns $300,000. Suddenly, you don't feel wealthy anymore. Nothing changed in your bank account, only your comparison changed. This is called relative income. Researchers have repeatedly found that people often judge their financial success less by what they earn and more by what the people around them earn. That's why someone driving a perfectly reliable car can suddenly feel embarrassed after a colleague buys a luxury SUV, not because their car stopped working, because their brain quietly changed the standard. Have you ever bought something you didn't even want until someone else bought it first? A bigger television, designer shoes, the newest phone, an expensive watch. Before seeing someone else own it, you weren't missing it. Then suddenly, it felt essential. That's not coincidence. It's psychology. Your brain constantly measures status because for most of human history, status often meant survival. Higher status meant better access to food, better protection, better opportunities. Today, status wears different clothes. It's brands, job titles, suburbs, holidays, investment portfolios, luxury kitchens, and social media has poured fuel on the fire. Thousands of years ago, you compared yourself to maybe 50 people, your tribe, your village, your community. Today, before breakfast, you've already compared yourself with millionaires, professional athletes, CEOs, influencers, and people showing only the best 5 seconds of their lives. Your brain never evolved for this. It assumes everyone else's highlight reel is normal, and your ordinary Tuesday somehow feels like failure. Here's a simple experiment. Think back 10 years. What did success look like? Maybe owning your own home, getting promoted, buying a reliable car. Now, think about today. Has that definition changed? For most people, it has. The target kept moving. Not because life demanded it, because your brain quietly redefined enough. There's another hidden trap almost nobody notices. It's called lifestyle inflation. Let's say you receive a $20,000 pay rise. You promise yourself you'll save most of it. Makes sense. But then, maybe you move into a nicer apartment, upgrade your car, start eating out more often, book business class once, subscribe to a few extra services. Nothing feels outrageous. Each decision seems completely reasonable until one day, your expenses have grown almost exactly as much as your income. You're earning far more, yet somehow you're living paycheck to paycheck again. The scary part? You rarely notice it happening because every upgrade quickly becomes your new normal. The nicer mattress becomes the mattress. The better coffee becomes the coffee. The luxury holiday becomes the annual expectation. What once felt like a reward now feels like a necessity, and losing it suddenly feels painful. Behavioral economists call this loss aversion. Humans hate losing something far more than we enjoy gaining something of equal value. So once your lifestyle expands, your brain fights desperately to protect it. That's why people earning enormous salaries can still feel financially trapped. Not because they don't earn enough, because they've accidentally built a life that demands every dollar they make. Now here's the question that changes everything. If your brain keeps moving the finish line, how do you ever feel rich? The answer isn't earning an infinite amount of money, because there is no income high enough to satisfy a brain designed to keep wanting more. Instead, you have to interrupt the comparison. Notice something. Children can spend hours playing with a cardboard box. Adults need luxury resorts to feel excited. What changed? Not the world, the expectations. Your brain became harder to impress. The real wealth isn't found in constantly increasing pleasure. It's found in lowering the amount required to experience it. Think about the happiest people you've ever met. Were they always the richest? Probably not. Many wealthy people are deeply anxious. Many ordinary people are deeply content, because peace doesn't come from the size of your income alone. It comes from the distance between what you have and what your brain believes you should have. That's an entirely different equation. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine waking up tomorrow with everything you currently own. Same home, the same friends, the same health, the same memories. Except yesterday, you had lost it all. Would it suddenly feel enough? Probably. Nothing changed except your perspective. That might be the greatest illusion your brain ever creates. It convinces you that happiness lives somewhere ahead, one promotion away, one investment away, one bigger house away, one more pay rise away. But every time you reach that destination, your brain quietly packs its bags and moves the destination again. So the next time you find yourself thinking, I'll finally feel secure when I earn just a little more, pause. Ask yourself one question. Is your bank account actually the thing that's empty, or has your brain simply forgotten how much is already there? Because the richest person in the room isn't always the one who earns the most. Sometimes it's the one whose brain has finally stopped moving the finish line.
If this video changed the way you think about money, then it has already made you richer than another pay rise ever could. Real wealth isn't about earning more. It's about finally stopping your brain from moving the finish line. If you enjoyed this journey into the psychology of money, subscribe to this channel, because the next thing your brain is lying to you about might be even more surprising.